Today, we're going to talk about something huge, something we think we all know, but maybe we don't. We're talking about love, but specifically, love as a spiritual practice. So when I say the word love, what's the first thing that pops into your head? Is it just romance novels and pop songs? That fluttery, fleeting feeling that just kind of happens to us? Yeah, our culture definitely treats it that way most of the time. But what if that version of love is just the tip of the iceberg? What if that's only the very beginning of a much, much deeper story? A story where love is something we do, not just something we feel. All right, here's how we're going to break this down. First, we'll get past the idea that love is just an emotion. Then we'll look at love as a verb, an action. We're also going to see how it's the perfect antidote for the ego, why our everyday life is basically its toughest training ground, and finally, how it ends up being both the path and the destination in pretty much every wisdom tradition. Okay, so first things first. Love is not just an emotion. We have to get past that caricature we see everywhere before we can even begin to understand its real power. So check out this contrast, because it's really the heart of it all. On one side, you've got what we can call sentimental love, or eros. It's fleeting, it's conditional, I love you if, and it's totally passive. We literally call it falling in love, right? It just happens to you. But then on the other side, you've got spiritual love, or agape. And this is a whole different ballgame. It's conscious, it's unconditional, and it's active. It's not something you fall into, it's something you choose to build, to practice, day in and day out. And that idea of choosing it leads us right to our next point. We need to start seeing love as a verb. It's all about that conscious, disciplined choice. And look, this is not some new age idea. It's ancient. In Buddhism, they call it metta. In Christianity, it's agape. But they're both pointing to the same exact thing, an unconditional commitment to the well-being of others. It's a choice you make to recognize the inherent worth in someone, and this is the key part. It has nothing to do with whether you get anything back from them.
So, okay, if love is this active choice, then what's its function, spiritually speaking? Well, that brings us right here. Love is the ego's ultimate antidote. It's the thing that dissolves the very core of our suffering. You see, if you look at so many spiritual paths, they all kind of say the same thing. The root of our suffering is this persistent illusion that we're a separate self, this me that's cut off from everyone and everything else. That little box we live in, that's the ego, and it's the source of pretty much all our fear and conflict. And this is where love comes in. The poet Rumi just nailed it when he said, "Love is the bridge between you and everything." It's the one thing that can smash through that illusion of separateness. It's the force that literally reconnects us. So how does it actually work? Well, it starts when your tight little bubble of I expands just enough to include a thou, another person. Then you start to naturally prioritize their needs, even just for a moment. And when that happens, something amazing happens to you. Your own little worries, your own stories about how you've been wronged, they just kind of fade into the background. And right there, in that moment, you get a direct taste of what it feels like to not be so separate. Now, this all sounds really nice in theory, doesn't it? But where do we actually do this? Well, that leads us here. Welcome to life's toughest gymnasium. This is where the real work happens. I mean, think about it. It's pretty easy to feel all enlightened and transcendent when you're meditating alone on a cushion or hiking up a beautiful mountain, right? But the real test, the real spiritual workout, happens down here, in the messy, complicated, often frustrating arena of our relationships with other people. And the people in our lives, they are the curriculum. These daily annoyances aren't getting in the way of your spiritual life, they are your spiritual life. The partner who never does the dishes, that neighbor with the political signs you can't stand, the colleague who totally steals your ideas. Every single one of these moments is a chance to practice. It's the grit that creates the pearl. And this brings us to our final and maybe most important point. This whole idea is both the path and the destination. And it's not just some fringe belief. It's a universal truth you find everywhere. I mean, just look at this. It's amazing. Whether you call it Christian agape, Buddhist metta, Hindu bhakti, or Sufi ishq, the core message is shockingly consistent. All these incredibly diverse paths, developed over thousands of years, all point to love as the central non-negotiable practice. So here's a really good way to think about it. All the other practices, meditation, prayer, chanting, rituals, they're all incredibly important, but they're like the scaffolding around a construction site. They're there to help you build the actual structure. And that structure, the building itself, is a heart that is capable of unconditional love.
I don't think anyone has ever put it more bluntly or more powerfully than the Apostle Paul. He basically says, you can have all the psychic powers, understand all the mysteries of the universe, have faith that moves mountains, but if you don't have love, you are nothing. It's not just a nice bonus, it's the whole point.
So we'll just leave you with this final question. If your life is the gymnasium, and this active, conscious love is the exercise, who is going to be your personal trainer today? That person who cuts you off in traffic? Your kid who's driving you crazy? The opportunity to practice is always, always right in front of us.